So, you're gonna stop complaining now? My name is GiBi and welcome to Week in Weird. It is late January 2022, and so naturally, we're going to be talking about something that is very, very old. Get it? Because it's the future, and that's different than things that are old. We're talking about dinosaurs. UK's largest ichthyosaur fossil was a 10-meter long apex predator. I've never really talked about, like, scary things on this channel. I mostly talk about things that are scary in a cosmic sense, like Chris Chan. But I've never talked about things I'm legitimately afraid of, like the moon and chimpanzees. But yeah, I am actually terrified of dinosaurs. I don't like them. I don't like things that are bigger than they should be. So seeing this man's here lying on the ground, smiling up at the camera, next to what is clearly just a giant crocodile. That's a no from me, dog. The largest ichthyosaur fossil ever found in the UK has been unearthed in the Rutland Water Nature Reserve. The article describes this creature, which I've never actually seen a picture of, I'll throw one up on screen, as a gigantic dolphin-like marine reptile. As if anything could be scarier than a giant crocodile, it would be a giant crocodile mixed with a dolphin. I think a lot of my childhood fears go back to playing Donkey Kong Country way too late at night, because things that are vaguely scaly looking, and then aquatic life are just big no's from me. So this fossil is 180 million years old and is 10 meters long, which is like 30 feet. It's believed to be the first of its species to be found in the UK. Such fossils are typically found in North America and Germany. This species also has the largest eyeballs of any vertebrates. That's mildly unsettling. Now, on the topic of studying ancient creatures, we're gonna segue into Pokemon. Logan Paul gets duped buying $3.5 million worth of fake Pokemon cards. This is gonna be amazing. So in case you're not, like, up on internet culture, you got Logan Paul. He's one of the most hated and yet still most popular YouTubers out there. He's also really into Pokemon because he's in his early 20s, so of course he is. What a bunch of losers those Pokemon fans are. So like all losers who like Pokemon, he spends way too much money on it, and he's been buying like big rated Charizard cards that are worth millions of dollars. I think it's only like $500,000. I'd have to look into that again. Anyway, it's estimated that there's about 20 first edition sealed boxes of Pokemon cards left in the United States, and so Logan Paul apparently bought one of them that was graded, meaning a professional company went in and confirmed its legitimacy. I missed my finger. Confirmed its legitimacy and also rated its like packaging and condition on a scale of 1 to 10. And then it turns out it was fake. The guy he bought it from was like a legit salesperson on Instagram, which is not a real sentence that I had ever thought I would say, but he's an actual trader of collectibles. So the guy gave Logan his $3.5 million refund, but then he was pissed because he also bought it for $2.7 million. So they went down and they got the president of the company that grades the trading cards, and they all met in a hotel. Okay, so they met with Steve Hart, who's the owner of BBCE, which is the company that grades the cases. Hart explained that he authenticated it as a case because of the tape and labeling, which looked aged and authentic to 1999, the year the cards were produced. So they're basing the entirety of their argument that this is real on the plastic around it. Actually, hold on, give me a second. Okay, so there's actually the saran wrap-like substance around the box, and this Pokeball shape right here isn't printed on the box, it's printed on the plastic. So that's what they use to identify that it's legitimate and that it's still sealed. Obviously, that one's not from 1999 and worth $3.5 million. That's from 2021 and worth $90. So they're convinced that this pack is unopened and legitimate and thus worth millions of dollars. So Logan Paul wanted to go further, and he wanted to open the box and actually see for himself. And they opened it and realized immediately it was not real. Not only was it not really first edition Pokemon cards, it wasn't even Pokemon cards. It was not filled with Pokemon first edition packs, which are worth roughly $10,600 a pack. That just hurt my soul. But with packs of G.I. Joe, which cost roughly $1.66 a pack. Said Hart, we all got duped. No. There's a picture of all the card packs. Oh man. So the company that grades the boxes has ceased their grading of Pokemon and Yu-Gi-Oh! Until they can figure out how this went so wrong that such a high-profile thing as a $3.5 million product could be graded incorrectly. And I just think that's fantastic. And we're actually not switching far for our next story, which is also about Pokemon. I swear this is not a Pokemon channel. It's just a great story. 2 Los Angeles cops fired for hunting Pokemon during active robbery. And then the tagline, gotta catch 'em all. Every seasoned gamer knows that the lovable Snorlax is one of the most difficult monsters to hunt and capture in the mobile game Pokémon Go. 2 Los Angeles Police Department officers were certainly aware of that when they spotted one on their phones, and actively chose to ignore a robbery-in-progress call to track it down. Louis Lozano and Eric Mitchell, since fired from the department, caught the Snorlax as well as an ultra-rare Togetic, a Pokemon ironically said to bring good fortune. The pair appealed the decision to fire them, arguing that video evidence of the pair shirking the call and driving away to chase this mythical creature was inadmissible, as it was made up of private conversations. On Friday, an appellate court affirmed their termination, calling Lozano and Mitchell's behavior egregious misconduct. I'm sorry, I'm just imagining these 2 cops just playing Pokemon Go and not answering the radio call, which is one thing. It's like, that's funny enough. The other is if they had to defend themselves with, like, lawyers. Okay, so there's a robbery going on inside a mall, and the sergeant called the car that these 2 officers were in and told them to assist the captain who was going to head off the robber. He received no response. He radioed them again, and they replied, no. And that was it. So the 2 cops go back and they talk to their sergeant later, and they're like, oh man, sorry we didn't hear the radio call. And so the sergeant gets really suspicious, so he decides to check their in-car video footage. This isn't even their body cam footage, it's the car footage. What he found contradicted their story. Not only had they heard the call, but they actively discussed whether to assist the captain. I don't want to be his help, Lozano said in the recording, referring to the captain. After their supervisor made a second attempt to call them, Mitchell said the decision on whether to respond was up to Lozano. Ah, screw it, the officer replied. 5 minutes after they decided to screw it, Mitchell told Lozano he had spotted a Snorlax on his phone. For the next 20 minutes, video footage showed the officers chatting about Pokemon as they drove around the area. On the way to the Snorlax, described in court documents as the sleeping Pokemon, Mitchell excitedly updated Lozano, saying that a Togetic had just popped up. He eventually did manage to ensnare the Togetic, exclaiming that the guys are gonna be so jealous. This has been my favorite story that I've ever read through in this series. It's not the funniest story, but just reading through like the quotations from the court documents, this is amazing. Okay, now for our final story, we're gonna be transitioning as far away from Pokemon as possible. That's right, we're going to be talking about sex. There's going to be some inappropriate words on screen, but I'm going to try to keep this as clean as possible. So the story starts with the rapper Drake, and he invited an Instagram model over to his house for some wholesome activities. Some wholesome, friendly activities. So Drake and this model engage in their activities, and Drake, who was very responsible during their time together, was wearing protection. So after their coitus was complete, he went to his bathroom and disposed of the now used condom and just threw it in the garbage. Or so this woman was led to believe. So then she went to the bathroom and she fished the condom out of the garbage, and she decided that she wanted to use it to have Drake's child without his consent. So she took it, and she was going to make it so that was able to... I can't do this. So she took the used condom, and she was going to use it to inseminate herself. Now, unbeknownst to her, Drake had covered the condom with hot sauce to prevent her from doing such a thing. She said it felt like pouring hot lava into her So obviously she was screaming, and that's when Drake ran into the room and admitted he poured hot sauce in the condom to kill the sperm. The article then does some science, and it says yes, hot sauce can kill sperm, that Drake didn't just flush the condom because he cares about the environment and the rubber is bad for it. And apparently he's said publicly before that he carries hot sauce on him to prevent this exact instance from occurring. Now, his argument is that he put the hot sauce in with the sperm to kill it, so that should a lady decide that they want to have his child without his consent, they can't because the sperm's dead. She's now suing him for basically laying a booby trap. Or a pussy trap. It is long decided law that you cannot lay booby traps in the United States. Basically, if you lay a trap for someone and then they get hurt, it's basically the exact same as you assaulting them with it. Like, there was the case where this guy, like, took a shotgun and then he tied the string to the trigger and then tied it to a door and someone opened the door and the shotgun shot them, and that's the exact same as if you pull the trigger yourself. You cannot lay booby traps. So theoretically, him putting the hot sauce in the condom, expecting her to possibly then put the contents of the condom inside of herself, is the same as if he had actually poured it in her himself. So she is suing him, and she has a right to sue him, and who knows if she's going to win or not. But theoretically, he could also sue her for trying to do this, because that is also illegal. You can't just take someone's sperm and try to impregnate yourself against their consent. So who knows how this is going to go, but this is amazing. I don't really know what the moral of the story is, so I'm going to let you guys decide in the comments. I want you to tell me who you think the biggest loser of the week was. Was it Logan Paul for buying a fake $3.5 million box of Pokemon cards? Was it the 2 cops who got fired because they wanted to catch a Snorlax? Or was it, I can't just call her a love lady. Or was it the lady who got too much hot sauce? Thank you for watching. You can follow me on Twitter at GiBi_Devin. And make sure to subscribe for next week of Week in Weird.